All right, guys, here we are in Game 2 between mouz.MaNa and SlayerS GanZi. And speaking of SlayerS GanZi, that's him right there in the blue. At the top of the map at the 12 o'clock position on Shattered Temple. SlayerS GanZi again. And at the 2 o'clock position in the green, playing as Protoss from the team mouz esports. Mouse Sports, right?
Mouse Sports.
It is MaNa.
Yeah, a few people get confused about that because, you know, mouse, the shorthand is M-O-U-Z.
I know.
That's the way it's been for a while. And their website is mouzsports.com. Mouse as in the animal, M-O-U-S-E, and then sports.
I'm just bad at that.
But because they use the shorthand without the E, a lot of people are like, oh, it's mouse, M-O-U-S, esports. And no, we were corrected. So I do love Mouse. Mouse has been involved in several of our events. Of course, their team was runner-up, actually, in Team Arena Challenge.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of a grudge match, I suppose, as Mouse Sports knocked out SlayerS in a 9-game best of 9, actually. Went the distance in winners round 2, actually, of the original Team Arena Challenge.
Yeah. Well, we'll see which team's player comes out on top in this game. They are close air positions, as we can see there. So, I mean, naturally, it stands to reason we'll probably have some drop play going on. I mean, GanZi loves to do that kind of thing. He's also the type of player, though, that likes to throw in a few cheese builds from time to time. It doesn't look like we're going to see that this game, but I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a bit of cheese somewhere in the series. He's so good at it.
Well, could very well happen. And let's remember back to last game as well. Don't forget, he opened up with gas, pulled off at 100 gas, and never really used it until he ended up doing what essentially amounted to a 1-Rax gasless FE. He just lost a little bit of mining time.
Yeah, it was a really kind of bizarre way to go about doing that. I wonder if that was supposed to be something else, and then he changed his mind when he scouted
I think so.
MaNa's base. It's possible, but I don't know. That was a little bit odd.
And that being said, nothing too out of the ordinary for either of our players quite yet. Gas up there for MaNa after a 13 gauge. We'll see how quickly he puts down his second gas. That should give us some sort of indication of his tech. And GanZi, on the other hand, is still actually gathering quite a bit of gas. Going to get back up to that 100 level very quickly.
Yeah. You ever wonder what it's like at the Protoss homeworld where, like, what if they accidentally warp in the wrong building sometimes? Where it's like, so they're supposed to warp in, like, some gateway that's empty and it's just been built. It's supposed to go to the front lines, but they warp in, like, someone's gateway that's, like, someone's house. Just sitting there eating breakfast, and, like, suddenly they're on Shattered Temple, and they're like, what?
I've always wondered as well, like, if they pull the wrong person off of the street as well. Zealots are just sitting down there in the mess hall.
Some coffee.
Yeah, exactly, and one just...
I wasn't supposed to come into work today.
Oh, God. Second refinery coming up, though, as the factory is about halfway done. So we could be looking at, cloaked banshees. Could be some sort of an aggressive 1-base 1-1-1 push.
No. Terrans never do that against Protoss. Are you kidding me? Well, 1-1-1?
Yeah.
Never
see it. It's all the rage.
I know.
Anyway.
Not so much anymore. It was for a while, though. That was a
it was for a while, like, what, a year and a half ago? Then it wasn't. You never did it anymore, just bio. And then it became popular again.
Yeah.
And now it's starting on the kind of the low end of that. Oh, look at this. Twilight Council now coming up. We already have Stalkers built, so more than likely it's going to be Blink Stalkers with the amount that he already has there. But he could throw us for a loop and do some sort of DT play.
It's going to be Banshees, it looks like, for GanZi. And he's going to have enough to get Cloak right away if he wants to. I'll have to see if he does or not. But, yeah, with MaNa, I mean, it could be Blink, I suppose. I always get a little bit nervous about Protoss players going Blink against Terran. It just doesn't seem to work out too well a lot of times. DTs are definitely an option, too. I mean, especially in a scenario like this, it'd be pretty unlikely that GanZi would have an engineering bay quick enough. So
certainly
we'll have to see what MaNa decides to do. I mean, it looks like it will be Blink, though. You're right.
Okay, so 3-gate Blink Stalkers, and this actually looks like an old game, as we do have the, the 1-1-1, which, as we said, is kind of declining popularity a little bit, but 2 1-base builds is more what it amounts to. You don't see too much of that anymore. Looks like MaNa now going to put on the robotics facility, of course, just going to be used for an observer, possibly a warp prism, so that he can ferry units and blink them into the high ground.
Yeah, so with what GanZi's doing, I mean, this could either be some sort of all-in, like you mentioned, or it could just be some sort of harass-oriented play to try to go into some sort of expansion.
Sure.
If it is an all-in, MaNa's in the best position he could be, just because this would be the slowest version of the 1-1 all-in, really, that there is.
Whoa.
But 2 more barracks going down. That's looking pretty all-in, I think, for SlayerS GanZi. But like I mentioned, it's going to hit slower than a lot of other 1-1-1 all-ins. that Terran can do against Protoss. So Mana, he's going to have really all the time he could hope for to prepare for this.
And as we know, there is a robo coming up very soon, just a few seconds away, so an observer should be able to make its way out. Oh, Blink Stalker's pulling away, and they're not going to be in position for this Banshee, which is going to rack up a couple of kills. Cloak is now done as well. This observer already pointed back directly towards the Banshee.
Is so dead.
Yes, it is. How many kills?
Yep.
3 kills so far.
Oh,
certainly,
no observer, though.
It's just about to finish. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's going to certainly kill a lot of probes. I mean, this is actually looking really bad for Mana. I mean,
yeah, it is.
He stopped probe production pretty early. Yep, the Banshee dies, but 11 workers killed. What's a worker count right now? 17 drones to 28 SCVs. Whoops.
That's a good win for Mana, but he has a long way to go to come back after that first Banshee.
Yeah, he's down on probes, definitely, but he can get in there. If he can get in there and do some damage, he'll be in great shape. Oh, getting in there before the bunker finishes. This is suddenly looking really bad for SlayerS GanZi.
All right.
Oh, man.
He has a tank out as well, and he's going to need to defend. No, actually, the tank goes down. It was not being repaired, not on auto repair. The bunker actually gets canceled by GanZi, and here we go, making
really
up those workers killed.
Nice little attempt by GanZi to get the SCV surround on some of those stalkers, but I think the micro for Mana is going to be too good. He's going to do a ton of damage with this.
Yeah, I've been watching Mana stream quite a bit lately, and he loves his Blink Stalker micro a lot.
Yeah,
and
focuses the medevac and then gets out of there.
Wow, down to 18 supply now for GanZi. We may have a very quick game number 2 as Mana is looking very strong at the moment.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, that Banshee from GanZi did some decent damage, but Mana coming in and just doing so much more. GG.
Wow.
And mouz.MaNa goes up 2-0 in our IPL Fight Club against SlayerS GanZi.